Today we have Mr. Abhijit Nandi Majumdar, ex-Bureau Chief Architect and Editor-in-Chief ANN News, who's going to moderate the session, and our eminent speakers, Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh, Associate Vice President, Business Excellence and Digital Strategy, WOCAT, and Mr. Shailendra Tripathi, Head of Marketing, Dr. Reddy. He's also an author, a blogger, and a visiting faculty of IES Mumbai. Thank you, sir, and welcome all of you to today's session. Abhijit, sir, you can take it forward from here.
Thanks a lot, Shirupa, and welcome everybody in this using digital as a stop-start world of COVID. So now a pandemic is really taking its toll all over the country. We are raking our brains as to how to get out of this pandemic, and this is a very, very interesting scenario. And to discuss how we can really use the digital world, because it's very dangerous to go and meet face to face. We just got introduced to two very big honchos in different fields. Of course, Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh is also an author. Apart from the introduction that Sirupa Nandi just mentioned, he's also an author of that book that you can see right behind you. Can put the spotlight on Rishi Jagmohan Singh, please. And you can see the book right behind him. That book of a digital dinosaur and transformation in the digital world. He is an internationally renowned motivational speaker on that. And proceeds of the book he mentioned to me goes to the Bharat Veer Foundation, which is dedicated to the Indian Army. And also we have Mr. Shailendra Singh. He was just been introduced by Shrirupa. So the person who heads Dr. Reddy's marketing is rated as one of the best, definitely in India. And he knows his job thoroughly. So now let's get straight to the point. We'll have a strategy session, discuss about the strategies that the digital media digitally we need to undertake, the tools that are in front of us, and implementation. So divide this into 3 sessions. So firstly, let me ask Mr. Jagmohan. We start off with Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh. How do you think we can effectively strike the right balance of digital marketing?
Yeah, in fact, good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year to all of you. Right balance in digital marketing is a very tough question, let me hear, but very relevant question. You know, it's very easy to say that I'm going to roll out digital marketing strategies. But then there are lot of parameters which are there in that. For example, which digital strategy you should be doing it, what are the tools you're going to use it, what are the target audiences you're going to engage, what are the methodologies you're going to focus on. So these are some of the aspects which you should be always one should be always caring about it, and at the same time ensuring that how we will be getting the output of it. You know, the problem what happens is it takes time, but that the patience levels in the corporate leaders is pretty short, and they want instant results. So similarly, digital may be giving us immediate delivery of a WhatsApp report or a or a email open rates, but that still takes time to build a community. So most importantly, first and most important aspect for any digital strategy is the kind of content which we are using it. Because my take is that those companies who are very strong in basics currently, and when they introduce digital, they will be successful. And those where the systems are already weak, they will really have to relook at their systems, and then they introduce a digital strategy that will help you out. Some of the strategies which I can suggest is that if you are having a user-friendly website, you know, the website people visit, that are the customers getting the right kind of information on their website? Is your website you know, responsive, that it can be seen on a mobile, laptop, iPad, all the various places? Do you have a relevant social media marketing strategy? Particularly, I'm talking from the pharmaceuticals and the FMCG sector, that the social media strategy has to be different from the different domains. For banking, it is going to be different strategy. For pharmaceutical, different. Insurance, different. So accordingly, we have to do it. From the pharmaceutical perspective, there are a lot of regulatory cuts that we cannot go beyond a particular. We can't advertise a product. So how are you going to do social media strategy? Is your brand SEO compliant? Is your brand seen in top 3 and particularly on the first page when the customer searches on it? All those aspects. What kind of influencers are you using? In pharmaceutical, we have a influencer called KOL, key opinion leaders. But when it comes to social media and digital strategy, it has to be amalgamation of all those aspects. So, and most importantly, before we jump into any kind of strategy, we make a I will call it phygital strategy. I call it a phygital strategy. The leader and the marketing head, the CMO, they should always think that their own strengths and weaknesses. A pharma company can always bring out the strategies used by HUL or Procter and Gamble, but they may not be relevant from our perspective. If I'm having nutraceuticals, then of course I can use a different kind of strategy. If I'm having chronic products, I will use a different strategy. If I'm having mass products like acute products, then I will use a different kind of strategy. So it is a factor of many other parameters and variables, friends. So I've mentioned few of them, and of course, as we go forward, we can develop it further.
Absolutely. I just want to bring Shailendra into the picture right now. So,
Yes.
Shailendra, which areas do you think the digital can excel in the pharma industry? Because Rishi Jagmohan Singh has put forward a very vital thing that is very important to have the digital thing. Now which are the areas do you think pharma industry can excel in?
So thank you, Avijit, for asking this question. But before going to this question, let me just add to what Rishi ji said. Like how we can strike a right balance. In fact, the right question would be how we can integrate the conventional strategy with the digital one, right? So at this point in time, it is not important that I should have everything that is right. In fact, at this point in time, it is like how you try and adapt rather wait and watch. And as he very clearly explained about the phygital part, this itself says that it has to be a combination of digital and physical both. And the reason being why he was saying this, and to the kind of experience we have our doctors, our customers, what is called in pharmaceutical. So we meet them, we expose them, we detail them, we give information about our product, and then it becomes quite challenging the way you want to communicate to your customers and the kind of the business you want from them, or the way you want them to prescribe your product. At the same time, when you are adopting a digital strategy to get the same thing done, it becomes quite challenging. So as I completely agree with him, it is not an easy task. This is something which has to be have this strategy angle and a solid dedication, how you are thinking about the whole thing, and you combine both to get the best of it.
Absolutely. But here, Rishiji, I just wanted to have one thing from you. Do you have a map of your customers? Do you have a map of your customers and clients? Do you think the pharma company has a map of the doctors and the customers at pan-India level? Do you have a digital map of that?
Can you explain about the map? What exactly you mean by the map?
Do you have a kind of a system where you know your client base, the number of people that are there across the country digitally whom you can connect?
Yeah, I understand your point of view. Now I get your point of view. What you say is that do we have the required numbers across India? Who are the doctors or customers being covered, retailers being covered, the wholesalers being covered, and how many are digitally savvy? Correct. So there are various reports, research, because ours being a pharmaceutical, being a research and evidence-based industry. So we always make our strategies which are very research-based and evidence-based. We just don't shoot in the dark. So we have, just to give you some example, I'll not go too much in detail, but Every company has their own target audience. Those companies who are having antibiotics, they will focus on GPs or CPs. Those companies who are having dermatology product, they will focus on dermatologists, cosmetologists. So coming back to your point, for example, map-wise and digital is savviness. I mentioned in my book also that there are doctors or customers like cosmeceuticals, cosmetic specialists, or dental surgeons, the skin specialists. They are deep into digital marketing. Okay, and they definitely love to be playing around with digital. But there are others also, for example, oncologists, or if you say maybe cardiologist. I mean, there are 1 or 2%, but they are not into this because, frankly speaking, they think that I don't need to advertise it. But in my view, in today's era, what has happened is the patient is doing a doctor hopping or doctor shopping, I call it. So before there is a, I will say there is a journey for a patient. So if I am a patient and I have, say, sore throat, okay, first thing I will not go to the doctor. First thing I will go on, Avijiji, I will go on Dr. Google.
Oh.
Okay, I will see, okay, sore throat. What are the reasons? Okay, these are the reasons. Then I will go to a chemist. I will do my own doctor chemist. I will purchase from there only. Then everybody knows these days Azivoc is being used. Sorry, Azi is being used. Sorry, Azi is being used, or azithromycin is being used. So they buy those things, but it doesn't get relieved. Then what they have next step is they will search for a doctor in that area. If they don't have their own GP, then they will find out their reviews. And then they will go to the doctor and evaluate whether this doctor is the right doctor for me or not. For a acute thing, they may not do that kind of research. But if for a chronic thing, for example, low back pain, first they will keep on trying all kinds of Ayurvedic and analgesics and other things. But ultimately, they will do a lot of research online of a doctor, and they will find out who is a good orthopedic surgeon in that area based on the reviews, and then they will go to a doctor. So there is a complete journey of a patient has changed because of that. And it is important for the doctors also that what is their presence. And similarly, it is important for the pharmaceutical companies also that they should be, seen. Their product should be seen in the first search only. Although we don't recommend that patients should buy directly, but about the product information, it should be seen in the first page. There are a lot of case studies which we have done. I think I've done along with Shailendra on SEO campaigns. So Shailendra can throw lights on that particular thing.
Shailendra, once you are, same in this point, once you are looking at your client in your patient base, so do you think that, on the field, as you get along digitally, this cost analysis, this cost benefit analysis works out as he's mentioned just now?
I think this is again a very good question when we talk about the cost benefit analysis and then kind of return we are getting on it. I'll come to that, but I think you raised a very valid question before this. I think we just slipped that. The question was, which area of digital marketing do you think Pharma can excel? So if you allow me, I can, I would want to spend a minute on this.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like if you look at Rishi, you was saying, in every aspect of pharma marketing, we can excel, digital marketing. There is gap everywhere. And if you look at the broadly, it's all about digital outreach. You understand that? And if you look at the pharma marketing since beginning has been product centric. And when I say product centric, product is at the center of it. And the pharma companies, we say this is the best product, this does this, that, and all. So we market the product. Okay, so most of the time it is inside out, not outside in. And if you really see what is happening post this adoption of the digital, is the centricity is moved towards from the product to the patient. So we are happy that patient centricity has gone up. So this is one very clear area, Avijit, wherein we can excel keeping patient at the center, not the product at the center. Hope you appreciate this point. And then obviously there is something called as patient awareness and some program called as pill plus, or beyond the pill. So you're not only talking about the pill, you're actually also catering or covering other aspect beyond pill in overall well-being of your patient. And then certainly we are also talking a lot nowadays about the telemedicine. We are talking about the customer engagement. That is the key area, how we can excel in that. We have started it, but still we have to travel a long distance when it comes to your customer engagement. And then the last part which I would like to mention here is like your ORM, or online reputation management. Very clearly Rishi mentioned that the people are now doing Google. So Dr. Google becomes more dangerous sometimes, because half knowledge is always dangerous. So then they will go by certain the comments. I was going through certain report, and it says that 26% of the patient they search for others view, and others view are just others view. You understand that people, they have their view on different parameters, and that this might mislead them. So online reputation management is one area where in pharmaceutical we can excel. So I thought it was an important piece we are missing. You asked this last question. Now coming to the cost effectiveness, yes, when we look at the digital to my mind is quite cost effective, but whether it is giving us right kind of return is still question mark. So I would request Rishi ji to throw some light on this.
Have you done any kind of a study, because you're heading the marketing of Dr. Reddy's? Have you done any kind of study which says that whether your digital input or digital mapping has given you a cost benefit analysis or something of that kind, the kind of investment that you put it in the digital forum, is it really coming back to you?
So Abhijit ji, the key point here is like at this point in time when you are graduating, it is, see, if you look at the marketing, the key job of the marketing is to spread the awareness, create the demand. So digital at this point in time is the best medium in terms of digital outreach and creating impressions about your product and services. And when we see that, I'm sure nowadays one thing is known to everyone is like CTR, click through rate. So whatever activity you are doing digitally, you get that click through rate, and definitely you can say that okay, this strategy or this campaign is working. People have at least gone and watch either my video or my advertisement banner. So that's how at this point in time pharma is leveraged up to that level, not beyond. Exactly, if you ask me what are the lead that were converted, we don't have that kind of tool as of now. Yeah, Rishi, I think you wanted to.
Yeah. Rishi, I just want to take to Rishi that then digital is the platform to reach out to the people on this for the pharma industry at the moment. You agree with me or not?
I will not agree with it, sir. If you say digital is the platform, then I will not agree. That I will. If you say if we say that digital is also one of the platforms to reach, then it is rational. Because what happens is pharmaceutical is a very, 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 very different field, and that I really empathize with the marketeers of pharmaceutical, which is especially Shalendra and his peers. That we have to sometimes fight a war with our hands bound behind it. Okay, so that's a kind of thing, because government has laid so many regulations for pharmaceuticals that you cannot advertise your brand. For example, now this remdesivir is there, or molnupiravir is there. Okay, that you can't advertise it. How are you doing about it? It is you're coming through social media, which is not being promoted by a pharma company. It is just through a virality of the content it is getting through.
Yes, but there is a point here, because the moment you advertise, without an advertisement is off the shelf now. I mean, if you look for this, then you see that
there are two kinds of products. Sorry, I interrupted. Sorry, continue, please.
No, it's okay. I mean, just off the shelf. So their government's prerogative, or maybe it's from the other side. Why certain governments have put a stop to any campaigns or to put a stop to recommendations of Mulla Puri Rao, because they feel that without, by the word of mouth, or but through the social media, the digital campaign. That's why I said digital is the campaign, whether you agree with me or not, because just this is a big example. Through just digital campaign, this particular drug has gone off the shelf in many of the states, just because people feel by taking this drug they can get rid of Omicron or the milder version of COVID-19, and they are getting very effective about it. And you mentioned, and we also have seen that there has been no advertisement on that. It's just because of digital marketing and social media that this drug has flown off the market. It's just an example that I said. That's why I said mention whether digital at the moment, whether it is the forum or not to push the program.
Yeah, it is one of the forums, but we can't say that it is because these are extreme times, So I would, we have two options in front of it. One is digital and second is phygital. So one is physical. Okay, so combination of it, we call it phygital. Okay, तो इससे मुझे एक शेर याद आ गया कि फितरत किसी का ना आजमाए जिंदगी, हर शख्स अपनी हद में बेहद लाजवाब होता है. Okay, so physical भी लाजवाब है और digital भी लाजवाब है.
And the word phygital is also lajawab.
Digital is also lajawab. So in pharmaceutical wise, we need to have a approach in this. And I think Shailendra can add further that we have got two kinds of, rather three of, I don't want to go deeper into it. For a better understanding, we have got two kinds of products. One is prescription products and second is the over-the-counter products. जैसे आप I'll not take the name. Okay, ले लेते हैं थोड़ा बहुत नाम समझने के लिए. वॉलनी जेल हो गया जैसे आप लेते हो, या ओके या कफ सिरप लेते हो जैसे कि आप if you have a product, let us say हिमालय का या आयुर्वेदिक अडुल्सा ले लो आप, इस तरह के. But there are other prescription products in cough syrup like ZX is there. Okay, so that cannot be advertised. But अगर कोई आदमी जैसे suddenly अभी कोविड का टाइम चल रहा है, somebody says that okay, I got very good relief from ZX, a non-pharma guy, and he makes the content viral, and it is not being a promoted product, but it is virality of the content. So that is how the product will, but that is not an ethical way of doing it. That is what we believe in it, and that's the reason I was saying that biggest challenge for a marketer is that we have to use the what I call it. I use a word called camouflaged way of marketing.
Okay. So camouflage way of marketing. So I'll move to Shailendra on the next thing. Tools used in digital marketing. What do you think is the most effective digital tool for pharma marketing?
So like if you ask me digital tools in pharmaceutical, we are struggling with to figure out or to keep up with the overwhelming technology and tools every day. As Rishi just said, I'm digital dinosaur. So in the morning something different, evening something different comes up. So we are in that kind. But then to be very simple, which maybe people would have not paid attention in the beginning, WhatsApp is one thing which has actually helped a lot to any pharmaceutical marketer. I see a lot of flyers and communication being forwarded through WhatsApp. But yes, it is not the well organized tool. Here what I would like to give my view, Avijit ji, is like in pharmaceutical, as I said, we are at very nascent stage. We might think that we have done a lot. Like initially we started with having detailing on iPad. I don't know if you know this. We have a very different way of going and communicating our product and its benefit, or the research articles, whatever we have. So there is something called as visual aid. It's a book. We go and we detail this to doctor through that visual aid. And now we converted that visual aid on the digital platform, that was the iPad, and we thought that we have achieved a lot. Okay, and most of the time it was nothing but paper and glass. We realized that it was nothing but paper and glass. So there are a lot more you can do that. So if you look at in pharmaceutical marketing, we will have to have a very different tool. I mean, a robust CRM tool that would give you a different perspective to your entire marketing. maybe, building your customer relationship. But what we are talking currently, I would limit myself. I will not go into the CRM tools and all data management tools and machine learning. I will not get into that. I would rather keep myself only to the very specific tools that the pharmaceutical marketer would need during this pharmaceutical marketing, digital marketing era. Is basically you should have a central hub, which means you should have your landing page, right? So whatever traffic you will get, you have to get your traffic onto your landing page. So let me tell you one thing: the one who will do the internet traffic mastery will lead in digital marketing. Will lead in digital marketing, right? So that is very important. The very first thing, you should have a central hub. You have to have a tool for that, and then you should have the funnel builder. And let me explain you what I mean by funnel builder. Funnel builder is like the sponsor of this meeting today is Clearnet. Clearnet is a doctor platform. We call it DNP, Doctors Network Platform, and it is basically the content service, the medical information that is available for doctor, and that's why a doctor visit their web page. What a pharmaceutical marketer can do, they can put their advertisement banner or video on their page. So are you clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you have put your advertisement banner there, but what after that? You have to divert that traffic to your product and services. So you have to have a tool, and that we call in the digital marketing as a funnel builder. So from there, you have to take the traffic to your hub, central hub, to your own sites. So these tools are lacking in pharmaceutical today, very clearly. And then you have to have something called as autoresponder to engage with the customers. And I don't think so many people, they have worked on that autoresponders tools that are available. And then you should also have the tracking system. So I am just talking about the funnel builder, and this funnel builder, if I have to draw a parallel between what has been happening typically between the traditional pharmaceutical marketing and digital marketing, is basically you create awareness, and then you create your user, then you create your frequent user, loyal and advocate, right? So this is the funnel of adoption of a product. And similarly, when I draw a parallel with the digital marketing, you are spreading awareness, the example I said, the banner, and then you are basically giving the right informations or engaging them with, you are giving them what you call the consideration. So they are considering your product and services, then finally you are converting them. So very clearly there are a lot of tools, but the gap also in pharmaceutical industry, we have not yet adopted those tools.
We're going to adopt them now.
Yeah, we need to learn, basically. It's the skills and tools we have to learn and then adopt them if really want to excel in pharmaceutical marketing.
Absolutely. There's a question which is coming from the audience. We've got a lively audience here. We're watching this worldwide. So we've got a very nice, a good, very relevant question just come from the audience. I'll put it down to Rishi Jagmohan Singh. Digital adoptions were always on back burner in pharma because we all were asked, what is the ROI? Though COVID has got us to adopt digital as hygiene, but the question remains on return on investment. How do you deal with this? Rishiji, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Sorry. That's the reason I said I'm still a dinosaur. So I think the idea of my book came from that only. That most of the industries have digitized themselves, and this book I started writing before pandemic. Okay, and dinosaurs. That's the reason pharmaceutical industry is a dinosaur. Was a dinosaur, but now I think the award for best digital transformation goes to COVID in pharmaceuticals. So earlier there were questions being asked about investment in. Since I had the digital strategy as well as learning management system, learning and development. For launch, many companies, I was surprised, do not have a LMS in their systems, learning management system. They used to question, they used to laugh at me, "Arey, why are you investing in this?" And when the pandemic started, they were running helter skelter, and they called me, "Yaar, can you help me out launch with the LMS?" I said, it's not a WhatsApp that you can download it. You need to have content in it. You need to have platform in it. You need a wireframe in it. So that is where the challenge comes. But the mindset is more important than the technology. I mentioned in my first chapter itself that leaders' mindset is more important. That I need to create an ecosystem of digital. So it is not that I will digitize my learning and development. I will digitize my marketing. I will digitize my sales with giving an iPad and other things. The whole ecosystem has to be digitized. The supply chain also be digitized. The R&D has to be digitized. The manufacturing also be digitized. So there are multiple tools which are there. For example, blockchain is there, or artificial intelligence is there, machine learning is there. All those things have to be there. So let me come back to the marketing part. So if we have to use the tools like Clarinet, we have to educate our marketing guys, our sales guys, that this is the advantage of, keeping customers warm and engaged. And that is where the challenge is going to come, that many people never used to think about it. But now, for goodness sake, the people have opened up their minds and also opened up their coffers also. So they are now ready to invest in it. For example, if I know Dr. Reddy's has a dedicated digital marketing department. And similarly, we also have a dedicated digital marketing department. We are not only digital marketing department, we've got digital champions department, for which I'm heading over here. So that is the kind of mindset change which has happened because of COVID. So earlier it was a hygiene factor. Today is a necessity factor.
Yeah, but when the question arises as to what is ROI and how do we deal with this ROI, so how do you answer that? How?
Yeah, I agree with that. In a corporate world, ROI will always be questioned. So I would suggest that if in the beginning only, if we start thinking about ROI, then we are going into losers game. But if we make a design template like this, that after 1 year we'll get a return, or after 2 years we'll get a return. So it's an investment which we are doing so that we don't become dinosaurs. Okay, it's an investment which we are doing. So I have to digitize my processes so that I don't become tomorrow's dinosaur. Many companies have evaporated. Many companies have evaporated from the system because of non-digitization. I mean, to give an example, Asian Paints, being an Indian company, it has given such a big challenge to global giants of paints only because of digitization.
That's correct.
Only because of digitization. Others did not, being a multinational, did not invest in digital tools, but Asian Paints, they invested big part of their profits as an investment. And today you can see it over there.
Yeah, so this digitalization, this is an investment which will fetch you good dividends, good return in years to come, but this is something that is very necessity. So, so Shailendra, I just want to bring you into the picture here. So
one point before Shailendra answers, I would like to say one point. Consider digitization as a bamboo tree. Okay. That much is sufficient. Over to Shailendra.
I want to bring you one point that now clearly mentioned, Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh clearly mentioned that this is an investment. This is a bamboo tree. So it's going to grow. It's going to grow over the years, and you're going to have patience, right? So then how do you measure digital success?
So it's a very valid question, Avijitji, and it has always been on the mind of a marketer. I have a cross question here. If you are questioning the ROI of digital effort, there were a lot of practices in conventional marketing. How do you track the ROI of that? For example, all my pharma friends who are connected, they would be knowing that there is something called as LBL. So they used to distribute LBLs to thousands of doctors. So what is the ROI on that? How do you measure that? It's not a question on the ROI. It's a question on mindset, and you understand what the broader perspective is. And the challenge with with all of us has been that we have always thought of transactional, which means that is why the very first thought of ROI comes to our mind. Whereas what we should be thinking more is building an meaningful relationship with our customer and taking this forward. So there is a journey, our customer journey. So how you can leverage digital on that part, creating a partnership with your customer, not thinking directly on the transactional part where you actually expect a return on investment. That is bound to happen, which is why I said, what is the the key difference, what is the key role of a marketer? My key job is to create awareness and create demand. So if you are leveraging digital platform, obviously you are creating demand. Now coming back to your point, there are various methods. I mean, there has to be willpower. People should be willing to measure that. You can measure that. The one such thing available currently is obviously your CTR. If your CTR rate is high, obviously you know that this is working, right? And the second part is you can conduct certain market research, like your awareness index before your campaign, your awareness index post your campaign. So there are various ways and methods you can actually know whether your campaign is working or not.
Okay, but so far, as of now, as you started it, digital marketing, as in you as a head of Dr. Reddy's, has your campaign taken off as a digital marketing on the digital marketing side?
Yeah, so sorry, Avidaj, please come again. So see, one point here I would want to make very clear that whatever I'm speaking is basically speaking in my individual capacity. I'm not representing any organizations or
So
anything.
as a pharma marketeer,
Yes.
as a pharma marketeer, have you been so far been successful in implementing the digital marketing stick?
Yes. Yes, very happy and very successful. And as Jagmohan ji mentioned also, I know we have received several awards also on the digital marketing. So digital marketing is very vast. I mean, how you are leveraging digital tool for your internal field force. Why, how you are leveraging digital tool, how you are going to kind of train your own people, right? And a lot of things. So if you look at, there are certain applications which is in the public domain for the patient benefit, for the doctors. A lot of things are there, Abhijit. So if you look at any average pharma marketeers, they are leveraging digital marketing, may not be to an level of the expert, but definitely people are on the journey, anyone and everyone. If nothing, even if there is an organization is not very evolved, at least they are leveraging WhatsApp to reach out to their audience. So it is not that we are not, everyone has leveraged it.
Fantastic, and that is music to everybody's ears, including yours, Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh, because coming from a person who is a hardcore pharma marketer, and he's saying that this is being leveraged and is very successfully, which comes to the fact that now we come to the implementation part. So digital marketing is not a stopgap arrangement, right? This is the way forward. Now, you didn't agree with me when you said this is the thing, but now this is one of the way forward, isn't it, Mr. Rishi Jagmohan Singh? This is not a stopgap arrangement.
Absolutely, it's not a stopgap arrangement. Do not do digital transformation into your company half-heartedly. You have to start investing. Those who are still sitting on the borderline, as per the recent research, I've just now posted my blog in my blog.com and LinkedIn, and I mentioned that 95% of CEOs believe that they should start investing in digital, particularly pharmaceuticals, but only 30% have opened up their coffers. So rest of them start thinking digitally, or I'll say digitally, and otherwise, it will be difficult for them to remain competitive in the market. As Chalender gave a very good example, that we keep on giving a lot of promotional tools to the customers, doctors. What is the ROI we are getting from them? We do not know. We are just doing a, what they call it, carpet bombing. But with digital, we can do a precision marketing. Like if we have tools like Clarinet or other, I will not name others now, but if we are able to find out who has clicked on my product, I can find out which doctor has shown interest in my product. Okay, if a doctor has sent a communication back to me, I can find out. And if I want to do a targeting using this platform, I can do a pinpointed marketing using digital tools. So that is the advantage of digital tools. But at the same time, alone digital will not help, because in Indian mindset, still our customers believe that they need to be followed up. So that is the reason we do send. We do use a combination of sales and marketing tools. So marketing is a digital and physical also. Plus, at the same time, sales going physical and digital. So they should talk to each other. The data should talk to each other so that sales can follow up on the leads which are being generated by the digital. So it is very, very essential that you invest in digital tools and technologies today if you really want to be competitive. Secondly, you should be, I'm giving $1 million advice now, that you should be having an experimental mindset. You can't think that मैंने एक में invest किया यही successful होना चाहिए. You know, there you have to be experimenting, my dear friend. So it is important that you experiment this. I'm sure you will get 100% return from there, but at the same time, there may be some which are failing also.
You get a success rate. So here, Rishi Jagmohan Singh has been advocating, very strongly advocating a physical and a digital, a mix of physical digital that he's calling, but digital backed up by physical. Now, Shailendra, I want to know, talk us through the marriage between this physical and digital stuff.
Yeah, so correct. So that is what we know we have been doing, and I made my statement that every pharmaceutical marketer is onto it. And then the best part is like, it is not that we have started today. The journey of digital marketing in pharma was started much before the lockdown and COVID-19. It is the turning point, you know, and then people have realized the importance of this, and that's where it played a role of catalyst. And but the challenge here is that you always give a bad name in terms of ROI and kill it. Sorry, but then there has to be leadership willpower. Once when you come and you take a decision that okay, we are going on certain digital initiatives, and you don't have patience on that, as Rishi is saying, you have to remain invested, and you keep on driving those initiatives. Today you invest, tomorrow you won't return. It's a transaction, so it will not happen that way.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Correct.
when you're talking about marrying the both, how you can marry the both, we all know the fund of 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Like if I'm saying something once, probably it will not get attention. If I'll say 3 times, you will probably give little ear to this, then maybe another 3 times little more ear to this. So like you said 27 times, probably people are going to get attention to this. So how you can marry this to your question, Avijit, is like you have your own people reaching out to your doctors, you have your digital approach, so it becomes multi-channel marketing, right?
That is what. But Shailendra, yeah, there's a question coming in from the audience which says, we have seen a lot of campaigns run by DRL on 1mg, Farm Easy, etc. Do you find commercial benefit gaining, Shailendra?
So I'm sorry, Avijit, I will not be able to reply on this. But many times those e-commerce platform are obviously into patient awareness. So sometimes they themselves they put content, but I don't think so. We would advertise anything for the commercial benefit.
Okay. So, another question which is also coming from the audience, which says that since patients are more aware now before reaching out to the doctor by virtue of the research, how are we creating multiple touch points with doctor before visiting them?
Yes, so I see that's where now I'll tell you this, we should take as opportunity. My suggestion to all my pharma marketeer is this should be taken as an opportunity. Like there was a time when we were reaching to a doctor, we were educating. Today doctors are facing challenges at multiple levels. One is like Rishi said in the beginning, is like like doctor hopping. Okay, so they have the floating patient population. So there are, if you look at the the basic funda of customer relationship, there are people who do not bother whether who is giving them the haircut. As long as the haircut is done in 20 rupees, they are ready to move to any shop in the city. Okay. And they are, that what I'm trying to tell. Right. So the people they keep on hopping from doctor to doctor. So so it's basically opportunity when you know that, and then doctors also want to have their clientele. So in a way, what we should be addressing is three things. One is between companies and doctor, companies to the patient awareness, as I said, beyond pill. And then obviously, how are you going to facilitate something which enhances dialogue, facilitates dialogues, and improve the engagement between doctor and patient themselves?
Correct. Yeah, I want to bring in Rishi Jagmohan Singh into the picture now. There's another question which is directly into digital marketing. Digital marketing in pharma is currently more inbound marketing or outbound marketing? Is it more inbound marketing or outbound marketing?
Till now, it was inbound marketing primarily, but now they're stepping into outbound marketing also, but in a very gradual manner. Shailendra, you agree on this or not?
Yeah, completely. But having said this, let me tell you, we have not prepared ourselves either for the inbound or outbound marketing both.
Okay, this is a little bit in a limbo now at the moment, is it?
No, but then it has been started. Let me put it in a very simple way. Suppose if you have got your database, and then you have got like database of 1 lakh customers or doctors, you are sending email to them, right? And now you don't have autoresponder, you don't have proper tool, you don't, I just said in the beginning, you are not having funnel builder. So we have started, but then as I said, there is a long distance to come.
But then another question which is immediately come in, which says, what is your experience about field force adopting digital? Shailendra.
I think if you ask me my personal experience, it's been about 10 years when we learned about the digital marketing, multi-level, multi-channel marketing, ACO. I think Jagmohan ji will agree with me. One of the best organizations was Common. We both have worked for that organization, and we were ahead of the curve. So what I'm trying to tell you is not from today or not in the COVID-19. Digital adoption has been for quite some time, and it's all depend how leaders they see this and how you actually transfer that benefit to our field force. Once they see is definitely this is something which is helping them out, obviously people are going to adopt. But in my experience, yes, our people are quite comfortable, and they have adopted it well.
Oh, Rishiji, there's another question which has come in. It says it's how much of a negative post on social media can impact a pharma brand or a medicine brand? A negative post on social media, how much it can impact a pharma brand or a medicine brand?
Frankly speaking, anything which is posted on social media can definitely have an impact. But then, I will say that many times in pharmaceutical, the trust is on the doctor more than on the social media. So what if I read something negatively, that, for example, latest example is of molnupiravir, wherein a lot of reports are coming that has got side effects. But in case some patient is there who's got that particular disease, he or she will first consult a doctor and go to Google also that this is a side effect which is being advertised. What do you say about it? And doctor will decide whether that person should continue with that medicine or he can change that medicine. Yeah, it definitely has an impact on positive and negative impacts. But at the same time, I would say the key decision maker is a doctor there. That is the reason pharmaceutical selling is a little different kind of selling and marketing. So the trust between a doctor and a patient is more important. Doubt is always put through social media. Okay, it will have so many side effects, and it can be done. But then if
it gives to the doctor, the doctor
is the doctor who decides, and ultimately it is also the reputation of a company which makes a lot of difference. That a company, this kind of company will not launch this kind of product. And in case there is something, I know of a example, I will not name the company, This is much before the pandemic. I will say 5-6 years before the pandemic. There was a multinational which was marketing a product, particularly for a particular indication, and that was in India. In India, it was 300 crore market, and they came to know globally that there was some side effect which was impacting their, neurologically. They withdrew that product overnight.
Okay.
So that is a kind of ethical, aspect which is there. So it all depends on the companies. On the other hand, there's a culture of the company can be, yaar, thoda bahut side effect chalta hai, chalne do, koi baat nahi. But I will not.
I understand.
I don't support that.
Absolutely.
And again, I must say, as Shailendra mentioned, all my comments are my personal comments, thoughts. It is not my company's comments.
Shailendra, is WhatsApp, and a question from the audience says that is WhatsApp a good way to target doctors?
I think yes. But Avijit, if someone is asking, have you seen a cat? So I will say yes, I have seen a cat, and how big it is. So I'll say it this big, and then is it really this big? So I said that no, I forgot to put my hand below, so it is only this big. The point is, WhatsApp is good. Everyone is saying good, but what kind of content you are giving? My point is, if you are bothering someone rather than doing value add, probably it will not work. I have heard feedback of doctors blocking our people. Do not bother me.
Okay.
So
quick question here. Two quick questions as you're coming towards the end of a very, very interesting session. In fact, very honestly speaking, I also learned a lot from this session. I mean, I'm learning as you guys are speaking, and it has been fantastic speaking to both of you, and it's been quite a learning experience for me. I'm sure the audience is also enjoying it. The questions are coming thick and fast. One question is, so many webinars have happened during COVID, and there was an overkill and the numbers dropped significantly. How should a marketer approach this challenge? Shailendra?
yes, I mean, this is very valid question. It's like, if you are going to invite people on the same topic again and again every week, one company has done that, and the doctor remains the same. Avijit, it's very simple. No, we as a marketer, we should understand, if we are not doing some value add, why should someone come and attend to your webinar? I don't see any value. Will you? No one will go there. Once you have educated them on that, and again, if you want to have something same on the similar topic, I mean, obviously, it creates kind of I mean, people would not want to come again and again on that. So content is the key. As you were asking in the beginning, tools. One, something is called a CMS here, I would say content management services. So pharmaceutical is basically, since in inceptions, is on the content. The content was through traditional route, the conventional route. Now the contents are being consumed digitally. So content is the key, Avijit. And what content you are giving them, it matters a lot. What value add you are giving to them, it matters a lot. Who are the KOLs who are coming and then talking on the point, it matters a lot. In the COVID, what topic you picked up, and what was actually the need of your customer. Put your hands on your heart and you tell me how many times you consult 10-20 doctors before deciding on the topic.
True.
I can tell you, it's something which comes to my mind. Or as I said, it is product centric. If I have certain product, I'll start thinking from that product point of view. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rishiji. That is what happens. So why someone should come? So which is why I said, whenever you are thinking, you have to think in terms of building relationship based on creating partnership with you. What are the challenges that you are facing? I never thought during this pandemic how you as a doctor will reach to your patient. You counsel them, you advise them. I only thought how my product will reach to you. Will you value? We will not.
Will not, absolutely. Rishiji, I want to bring you into this here and this question. What is your experience in doctors reacting to digital marketing?
You see, it was just like a curve, when pandemic started, they were all scampering. In fact, I have conducted webinars myself for the doctors. And it was, we had a gathering of 1,000 doctors attending that webinar. What is digital marketing? How they can do digital marketing? And In the process, they learned, that how they can benefit the patients, because patient also need to consult the doctor. No? So I think I gave my answer in the starting only, that doctors also need a visibility, so that is where they also need to do digital marketing, and many doctors have moved to digital marketing. In fact, they are personally connected with me. They are dentist, cosmeceutical specialist, cosmetologist. I've also got a cardiologist, and as far as from Singapore, Nepal, India, of course, is there, Burma. So these doctors, they keep on sending me, is it okay? Is this fine? So I give them a pro bono kind of guidance. Okay, this is what you need to change. So they are doing their creatives and they're marketing it. But they are doing some of them are doing bad marketing, some are doing very good marketing. So that is where the doctors also need to understand. Second part I like to highlight is from the pharmaceutical perspective, how pharmaceutically they can be connected through digital marketing. That we need to explore multiple channels wherein the doctors can come, and at the same time they should come on their own. Problem what happens is many of the pharmaceutical companies, they force the doctors to come there. Nobody likes being forced. Agar main aapko bolun ke Abhijit ji, you should go on Twitter now an everyday basis, okay, even if I pay you say 1,000 rupees per day, you will not go on Twitter, right?
Yeah,
that is where
absolutely nothing can be forced on it.
Nothing can be forced. So the customer should go willingly because they find value add in that.
Value.
So most important thing is value creation through the content. And if I find content on, say, on Facebook, I will go there. If I find content on TED Talk, I'll go there. If I find content on YouTube, I'll go there. I've got multiple options.
True.
So the platform which I'm creating, it is having a lot of competition in the market, from Quora, from Coursera, from similarly doctors have their own platforms, medical platforms. They can go there. So I have to make sure my content should be solid.
But it's very good to know that doctors have also warmed up to that digital marketing.
Yeah, they are definitely warmed up.
So one last question we have as you're coming towards the end of this interesting session, and then this is for the direct market here, Shailendra. What is an ideal CTR for brand ad?
So maybe I would pass on this question to Clarinet people because they are the ideal one. But yes, when you look at the CTR, to my understanding, if you have at least 10%, and that could be the good at this point in time, at least 10%.
Rishiji, what is the ideal CTR for brand ad? A very small question from the audience. Last question from the audience.
It all depends on what platform are you asking. It is a click-through ratio. I mean, if you say digitally also, is different on Facebook and different on LinkedIn, and different on other platforms. Similarly, if I say if there's a dedicated platform like Clarinet, and I'm having a dedicated, audiences, my click-through ratio should be more than 50%. But if it is a neutral platform, I mean, 10 to 15% is good enough.
10 to 15% is good enough. So we had of course, I'd hate to say this, but we have almost come to an end to a very, very interesting session. It's been nice, absolutely brilliant chatting up with two doyens of the pharmaceutical marketing, digital marketing industry. Thank you very much, Rishi Jagmohan Singh. Thank you very much, Shailendra Tripathi. It has been a pleasure talking to both of you, and I am sure the audience enjoyed every moment of it. It was very, very educative, I must say. Shrupa, over to you to wrap up this session.
Before we hand it to Shrupa, I must appreciate the energy levels which you are displaying, and I must appreciate that last 1 year you have shown a lot of energy. And I think Shailendra knows that my other name is Energy. So I really connected with you very well for energy you have shown, sir. Thank you very much for having us here.
Thank you, everyone. It has been a wonderful session. We've got a lot of information, and I'm sure that will help all our audience. Thank you so much, Abhijit sir, for moderating the session so well. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, Sharendra sir. Thank you, Rishi sir, for wonderful value points that you've given us. Unfortunately, we are at the end of today's session. So wishing everyone a very good night, and we are concluding the session here. Thank you all for your information. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And
Have a
thanks
nice
a lot
evening.
for having us
Yeah.
here. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thanks.